Same bat time, same bat channel as a week ago. Wednesday at 8. It means we're here. NCPreps Live. Dina, Jack, Chelsea, how's everybody doing tonight?
Doing great.
Doing good. Ready to go.
Doing good. Ready to go. Well, let's hit that music and we'll start the show.
Go with it.
All right, and we're back again. Welcome, everybody. Wednesday night, NCPreps Live. Got the whole cast, Dina, Chelsea, Jack. We mentioned it before the music, but everybody's doing good?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Oh, man. Yeah, I told y'all. Y'all can quit calling me this sir thing. I'm not that.
Say that every time.
Cool. It's all good. Dina, what's new with everything? How's everything in the world of football this week?
Well, same old stuff. You know, get bombarded with people asking, who's got a game? Who's got a game? Who's open? We need a game.
and then they won't play somebody.
Yeah, I mean, you work hard and try to get teams set up, and then they don't play. I mean,
It's
I don't, you know, for whatever reasons. I mean, I had somebody reach out tell me Murphy was probably going to need some games here in the next week or so, and they're willing to travel 300 miles. That's what I heard, and that's a long ways from Murphy. But you know, I was picking at them a lot. Well, why don't you go to Northeastern? That's a little bit too far. But yeah. I mean, it's a time, you know, I'm constantly, I know you are too. And, you know, we're trying, we got some buddies that are trying to help out our coaching colleagues to find some of these games because, I mean, and it's on the spur of the moment. We got people begging for games for Friday night.
Yeah. You know, funny joke, me and David Gentry, former Murphy coach, it's kind of strange to say retired or former coach. But, you know, he was always quick to point out there's 6 state capitals in 6 other states to include as far away as Virginia, Florida, Tennessee, Alabama, Kentucky, and I think even Indiana, that their state capitals are closer to Murphy than Raleigh.
I believe it.
Yeah,
I mean,
kind of crazy to think about that. But anyway, hey, talk about a guy who's ready to play a game. We got a special guest coming on here, first one here tonight for NCPreps Live, coach of Sanderson High School, Jeremy Buck. You got a big game Friday night against your old program you used to work at. How you doing this evening, Coach?
Chris, I can't hear you.
Okay, you might have to. Okay. We'll get you there. Let me let Coach know because I put him in the back room.
Backstage.
All right, he's going to have to come right back out and come back in. That's the only way that's going to fix that.
Technology.
Yeah.
It can be a blessing.
All right, he'll come right back in. We'll get him back in. There you go. See, he's got the message. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. That's the technology. But anyway, hey, we do have a comment here already. Hey, our friend John. Good evening, guys. Hey, John, again, we appreciate you joining us here every week. You kind of been one of our regulars here on the show, so we appreciate you. And Jack, it probably won't be long before we get one of your fan club members.
They were
Here's Coach
last
Buck.
week.
Coach, can you hear us now? All right.
Yes, I can hear you now. Sorry about that. I'm not sure
All
what
right,
happened.
bro. Coach Jeremy Buck, Sanderson High School. Got a big game. Oh, what? Wait. Jack, your
Oh,
mother says hi.
from Louisville. Thank you.
All right, Coach. How are you doing? That's the first question, business.
Chris, I appreciate you asking. A lot better, especially a lot better than last week at this time, and then 3 weeks ago. It's been a difficult and challenging few weeks for everybody, and a lot of people picked up a lot of slack for me. Our assistant coaches did a tremendous job, but most importantly, my wife, on very little sleep, trying to balance her schedule. She took care of me every step of the way, and so very, very grateful to her. Grateful for our administration, because my principal is the one that basically forced me to go to the doctor, go to the hospital on Friday the 20th, I believe it was. And without her urging, it might have been a different outcome. So very thankful for her as well.
Well, we're certainly glad to hear that, and I'm going to let these other guys hit you with some questions as well. Because I've known you for so many 14, 15 years, however long it's been, and we've been very close with football stuff over the years. How has this changed your perception of the importance of football in your life? Because my good friend Adrian Snow brought this up, that, when you go through a potentially life-changing medical condition like he did, he came to the realization that football wasn't that big a deal. And I wanted to ask you the same question.
Well, I'm glad you brought up Adrian. Adrian, I've known Adrian for a while as well, just through the coaching community. And Adrian found out about me, and I was still a little bit lagging behind him, I guess, in our process. And he reached out, and we would exchange texts and communication to basically motivate each other, right? To try to keep everybody, keep you pushing, get on the breathing tube, make sure you get your inhaler, So it was a great communication. I'm glad to see that Adrian's back. But as far as putting things in perspective, absolutely. To some degree, you have to realize that life is life. And I made a conscious effort to be stubbornly patient about returning. And I wanted to, it's not an ACL, it's not a sprained ankle, it's not something that you can return from and just go out there and play and deal with it in the off season. This is something that you have to get healthy about. And, fortunately, again, our administration recognized it. Our athletic director stepped in and was the acting head coach last week to allow our guys to get on the field and play. So a lot of different people pulling things in. However, and my wife said this, and it's 100% accurate. There's two types of medicine. There's medicine you get from the doctor, and there's medicine for the soul. And my goal when I was put in the hospital was to return to our guys to play Triton. And I was able to get to the field before kickoff. And the deal I made with my wife was to stay in the press box. However, down 21-10 at half, that didn't last very long. And I went down to the field, and we were able to have some success in the second half. But that medicine, being where I was supposed to be, where I felt where I was supposed to be with our guys, with our program, I think that helped me recover even quicker, to be honest with you.
Coach, good to have you on. I'm glad you're doing well. My question is, you've coached a lot of places, and now you're based in Raleigh. And I just, we always hear about the talent in Charlotte. Charlotte's loaded with D1 talent. How has the talent in Raleigh grown? I mean, we've seen Wake Forest has had their run. We've got Rollsville, Leesville Road, Cardinal Gibbons, all these teams in Raleigh, and a lot of really good high profile players coming out of the area. Just want your input on that.
You're right. Charlotte has a little bit different infrastructure, to be honest, in my opinion, at least when I left, and it's been 10, 12 years ago now. It seemed like from an overall perspective at the administrative level, Charlotte was more committed to football than Wake County. And what I mean by that is hiring coaches in the building, getting kids in the weight room during the day so they can get home and do study hall or play other sports or, whatever they need to do, but get them in during the day so they can get in the weight room. They can do those things similar to what band does every day, right? The band's able to have practice and stuff like that. It's something that in Charlotte, it seems it was, okay, this is what we'll do. There is talent. I'm not going to say there's more talent in Charlotte from a baseline level, but the talent is able to be developed at a quicker pace. And I think because of that, you typically see more highly recruited kids coming out of Charlotte. It goes back to the infrastructure that I speak, and it goes back to, and I'm not sure if they still have it, but I believe there was like spring football for anybody 8th grade and below in Charlotte in the time I was there. I'm not sure if it's still there or not, or I honestly don't remember all the details to it. That's not something that's prevalent around here. In Wake County, things are competitive now. You mentioned Coach Lucas over at Wars. He had a great run, won 3 titles, and he sent a bunch of kids to school. I was at Heritage while I was finishing up my master's degree, and we had some talent there too. You talk about roles. I mean, Wake back to one to South Carolina. Talking Lee will send him to program. I'm sure, but
All right, I think we're losing Coach.
I really think comes to the infrastructure, a base development at a younger level and a more consistent level in Charlotte. Now, there's some administrators that are great, but there's also some administrators.
All right, guys, I think we can kind of get the gist of Coach. I don't know if we're kind of losing you, Coach, with your signal. We're going to pull you out of here for a second, see if you can regain. Yeah, he looks like he's frozen. But just to kind of circle back to what he was saying, certainly just glad to have him back, first and foremost. When I got the word that he was in the hospital and did not go, pretty tough on me. But hopefully, if we can get him back, I sent him a message here. We'll certainly ask him about that game coming up this week against Heritage, which he just kind of mentioned there, kind of before we hit a bad patch with a signal, that he had coached there up until about 2 or 3 years ago. Chelsea, you go to school at Sanderson. Kind of what's y'all's thoughts with the student body and the game coming up Friday, because it's certainly a big game.
It is. A lot of our students, so I really look forward to it. It's our first home game of the season, and after so many games being canceled, having this delay of a season, I know the whole student section really looks forward to going to this game.
Yeah, I think it's a big game. Jack, have you followed this Heritage team? Any idea, any expectations of what you think Friday?
Well, I know they're a good team, and they have NC State commit Lex Thomas at quarterback. So they're definitely going to be one of the better teams in Raleigh, I would expect, throughout the season.
Yeah, I think so. Dina, your thoughts?
Well, yeah, the Heritage, they had Ricky Person a few years ago, and he's starring at State. But I was just going to tell it'll be Chelsea's turn next week, but I let Jack pick the player of the week this week. And so, Jack, share who you decided on.
So this week for the player of the week, I decided the player of the week was the quarterback at Myers Park, Lucas Linhoff. I just thought they had a good win over Reagan. Plus, he went 22 for 27 passing with 354 yards, 3 passing touchdowns and 2 rushing touchdowns with the win. Thought he deserved to have it. The running back at Cardinal Gibbons also what I was considering because he had like 35 carries with 200 plus yards and a couple of touchdowns. But the quarterback from Myers Park, I definitely feel like he has a lot of pressure on over his head because coming in last year with Drake May, he was kind of the successor to Drake May, and I know they kind of lost earlier in the playoffs than they wanted, but I think he's been pretty good in the first quarter of the season so far.
Yeah, no, I oh, I'm sorry, Dana. Go
Now,
ahead.
it was a good selection. I mean, we get a lot of good candidates each week, and coaches send us those nominations in, and I'm putting Chelsea on the spot, so she's got to
Look
be
out.
on the message boards and Twitter and everything. See who she will pick next week.
Got it.
Absolutely. Hey, I'm working with Coach Buck here in the background. I think we're going to try to get him back on here momentarily. I am sending him the link via the email to be able to get us here in the studio. So hold tight with me for a second, guys. I know this is some taken away from the show, but here we go. We'll send it to him there. We're going to try to get him back from his home computer. So we'll see what we can do there. Sorry about that, guys, for that deal. But I was about to say, Jack, you did pick a good one there with Lindhoff. He's really, and I said this on the Charlotte Observer, giving away some game balls that I did, that he has not really had a bad game yet all year. I think in all 3 of their games, he has been on point, even in the loss at the beginning of the year to Huff. He's looked really, really good. But with Shepard as well, the running back at Gibbons, I don't know how many running backs have gone down into Raider Stadium and rushed for 177 yards. It's got to be a short list, but he certainly had his way with him Friday.
And the thing, he had 35 carries. I mean, 35 carries. I don't care how many yards you have. They kept giving him the ball for a reason. So 35 carries against Richmond in Rockingham is impressive. I was close to giving him to him, but when the quarterback from Myers Park had 5 touchdowns, I was like, yeah.
Jack's young. He don't remember T.A. McClendon days.
I've heard that name before. And
Hey, I just had this news come in. I'm not going to break the full news just because I'm not sure how much of it's been put out. But I did just get a message from Washington High School head coach Perry Owens. He said that they will not be playing this week, that they're taking 2 weeks off to grieve a loss of a player on their team. Some tragic news coming out of Washington. I'm not sure the situation. I'm not going to put the details out yet, but it looks like the Pound Pack won't be playing Friday. So certainly everybody out there want to give their thoughts and prayers. So we got Coach Buck back, though. Coach, sorry that you kind of got a little trouble right there.
I apologize. I was trying to do it from my phone, and it's an old phone, beat up, cracked screen, and so I asked the wife if I could borrow her iPad, which is a lot.
You still using that flip phone?
No, it's not the flip phone. That's a good story there, Chris. You can keep that one to yourself, my friend. So, but I know.
I don't know if you remember that phone Jay Purdue had. He could text 1989 with that thing.
Yes, he could. He was rolling.
Coach, I was talking about one of your former players, Ricky Person. What a great job he's been doing at State, and we were talking about Heritage, and Lex Thomas is committed to NC State, and he's got some really good brothers that are that was on State's team. And what are you looking forward to playing Heritage?
Well, it's special. I spent 3 great years there. Coach Clark's a great dude. Coach Fournier, the offensive coordinator, is like a brother to me. My time there, Mr. Lyons, the principal, Coach Kennedy, the AD and stuff, it was phenomenal. So it's one of those situations to where playing them, it's like playing against your brother, right? You want to kind of prove a point that they're kind of the big brother, really. I mean, they dominated us in 2019. They've been more productive in recent years than Sanderson has. So want to show some pride and go out there and compete with them. You mentioned Ricky. Ricky is like a son to me. I mean, Ricky and I are super, super tight. Very, very happy that he's healthy finally, and I think he's going to have a big, big year. You talked about Drake and Thayer. Tremendous, tremendous family. Tremendous, tremendous work ethic, football IQ, all the above. Got to meet Lex as he was moving up the ranks and growing a little bit taller each year, and taking I think the Bulldogs to Disney World and all that stuff for that stuff. Lex can spin it now. You watch the film, and he's got some talent out there to get the ball to. Offensive line is much better this year, in the run game. They're more balanced, I guess I should say, in the run game. And Coach Foyner, like I said, has done a tremendous job with that. So it's going to be fun to bring him over there. Bring them over to our house on Friday. Get to see those guys, because again, they're very special to me. But then we'll strap it up and see what kind of ball club we have.
Coach, who are some of your kids who you've really seen develop over this off season and just have been performing well?
We've got a bunch, Chelsea. Our quarterback, we had Drew's really stepped up. Is throwing the ball well, is processing things well. Drew Tainer, our quarterback, had a solid game, forced a couple throws on Friday, but that was his first varsity start, and he did a great job processing all that. Isaiah Donaldson's done a great job. Linebacker and running back. You put me on the spot, so I'm going to forget some guys, and they're going to see this. Like, come on, Coach, really? Really, the work ethic we had after the spring season, heading into we had a team camp on campus, and we had to organize and protocols and all that good stuff. Heading into the season, everybody was working so hard. John DeCourty's moving up from JV. Levi Matthews is one of our dudes. Griffin Scott, Kristen Tant. We've got Jackson Antonazzo on the offensive line. And again, now I'm going to forget people, and I'm going to feel bad about it. But overall, our program works really hard, and I've seen that growth in the work ethic. I've seen the growth in the commitment. I've seen the growth in the commitment to the details, both academically and athletically. So we're excited about hopefully putting a better product on the field on Friday than we had this past Friday.
Hey, Coach, I know that you guys have only played the one game. Obviously, we've been practicing for well over a month and a half. Is your team relatively healthy moving in? You got all your guys together, everybody pretty healthy moving in this direction, past illnesses and everything else?
Until practice today. But yes, in that regard, we have some guys banged up, as everybody does. We didn't practice for 18 days. And we turn around with an assistant coaching staff and an athletic director that leads practice for a week to go strike it up against Triton. But from a health standpoint, yes, if we can get some of these nagging things kind of cleaned up in the next 48 hours, then yes, we're fairly healthy.
Good deal. Oh, I just want to throw that out there. Here, let me throw it out here to everybody else. Any other questions? Looks like we've lost Jack. Oh, I think Jack's back. Any questions? Jack, you got anything for the coach tonight?
Good luck Friday.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. It's gonna be fun. They're a really good outfit. You're not 3-0 because of luck, right? And they're good, and we're gonna have our hands full. But I like our team. I like how we're progressing. And traditionally, and like I told the guys earlier this week, you make your best progress between week 1 and week 2. Okay, we had 34 snaps of scrimmage against Rollsville. That's all we had before we were able to get into a game. So putting us behind the 8 ball. So hopefully we'll be able to perform a little bit better on Friday night. But I appreciate it.
All right. Well, dadgum, Coach, I appreciate you coming on. And just again, I'm happy to see you. I'm glad you're doing well. You're healthy, and progressing every day, at least from that point. Because again, as we mentioned, there's so much more important things than football. So I'm just happy to be able to put eyes on you, know that you're good. Dina, any final questions for the coach?
No, just wishing him best of luck, and I know he's going to look forward to being on the sidelines, because just, to be honest, there's nothing like being somewhere like that. That's your second home, being on the sidelines, being around your team, being around, your assistants and your whole ball program and everything. That's wonderful, and I'm glad to see you back.
Thank you, ma'am. I appreciate that, and you're right. It's just, there's nothing like it. When you coach because you catch a bug, and either you keep the bug or you lose it. And looks like I've had it for about 20 years now. So.
Man, thanks, Coach. Hey, Chelsea, by the way, you know where he works, and you know where his
I do.
gym is, so he's going to expect you to come down there and cover the team a little bit.
I will. I hope to be there Friday.
Sounds good. Hope? What do you mean hope? It's at home.
I got a concert that night, so hoping
Oh,
every other home game though in Millbrook, I'll be there.
Okay.
what kind of concert? Now you've opened a can of worms. Who you going to go see?
It's
He's
Lil
working on the
Baby at Coastal Credit Union.
Oh my gosh.
Who is it?
Lil Baby.
High school kids.
Who's that? I ain't got no clue.
No doubt.
Langston might know of him, Chris. He's on a game show question.
All right, Coach. We appreciate you, sir.
See you guys. Thank y'all.
See you, Coach Buck.
Yeah.
All right. I ain't got no clue who that is. I guess that just shows the age. I can tell you who Hank Williams is.
Sure, Jack knows of him.
Yeah.
When Jack had a busy night Friday, he went and saw a big time game. Went down in Wilmington to see Wake Forest go to Hoggard. Jack, tell us about that game.
It was a good game. Hoggard had a huge student section, probably the biggest that it was about up there with Gibbons. Gibbons had a big student section too, but it was up there with as big as Gibbons. But it was just two teams that have an old school style to them, especially Wake Forest. Hoggard kind of smash mouth too. And I mean, Wake Forest was just the better and stronger and probably the more well-coached team. And they made the big plays at the end of the game. They won on a game-winning pick six. So it was a closer game than the score said because it looked like Wake Forest won by 2 possessions, but it was really a 1-possession game the whole game. So it was a really good game. Dashaun Grant for Wake Forest, he had some rushing yards. He played offense and defense. He had 2 interceptions, including the game-winning pick six, and that's who I interviewed after the game.
Well, I know you've got an interview with Dashaun. Let's go ahead and cue it up, and we'll get some more feedback and insight from you here on the other side. But let's go ahead and check out this interview with Wake Forest's Dashaun Grant.
Here with Wake Forest High School cornerback Dashaun Grant after they just got a win over Hoggard on the road. This is a great program. Talk about what the things that y'all do in practice every single day in the games that keep this program running and winning.
Well, let's start off with the coaches, man. The coaches it's a grind every day. We go in, hit the weights, hit the field. It's just about commitment, man. We just committed to the team.
Yeah, you guys seem to have the Hoggard offense figured out today. Talk about some things that you guys focused on leading up this week to shut down their offense and to score some points.
Well, for the defense perspective, we were just watching the motions and the down blocks, squeezing, fitting. That's really it, man.
Yeah, you had 2 interceptions today, including a game-winning pick six. Take us through what you saw in that last game-sealing pick six. Like, what put you in the position to get that interception?
Well, I was reading the tight end. He did a little corner route. I saw the quarterback didn't see me. I came and I took it for the 6.
Yeah, next week you guys play a tough Cardinal Gibbons team. Talk about what that win would mean to y'all and what a big win that would mean to y'all this season.
It's a big one because we lost it to them last time, so we got to come out with a big one this time.
Great job today, and good luck the rest of the season.
Thank you.
All right, great interview there. And that was a great game. And I like the reference that you gave to Smash Mouth programs because that's the deal with those two. Coach Underwood, Coach Lucas, I mean, those are 2 throwback kind of guys. I got to ask, Jack, are you in your bedroom?
So, we have like an upstairs where my sister's room is over there, and this is kind of like the other room. You know, you just have like an extra room. So this is where I do like all the shows. This is where I used to record my podcast and stuff like that. I actually have like a Gene Chizik signed helmet up here, stuff like that. So, but my phone was about to die, So then, like, I was trying to plug it in over there, and then the phone fell. So that's like when I like disconnected because the phone fell off the table. So then I came over to this recliner and sat down and plugged my phone in.
Yeah, the only reason I ask is because I got some kids and I kind of know what I'm looking at here. It looks to me like you've got some lights strung up behind you on there. I didn't know if you had
there's that.
I didn't know if you had like club lit going on and you could give us a light.
There's definitely LED lights. Yeah.
Yeah, we want to get the full show, Jack. I mean, you've got fans out there who check in every week to see you. Hey, there you go. Club lit.
I also do not go up here a lot. I don't know why I put the lights up here. So, yeah. About something else as I tried to figure this out, maybe.
That's okay. I think Coach Healy down at UNC Charlotte would be proud of you to know you got club lit going on going down in Onslow County.
Oh, yeah. True. In Richlands, North Carolina.
Home of Mario Williams.
Hey, your mother.
I think they're out. Yeah, that would not surprise me.
Yeah, Jack, that was a good matchup. You're exactly right. Wake Forest, they had a great run and they had a great running attack, and Coach Lucas has done outstanding, and he's had a lot of kids go on to the next level, and he's done a solid job there, and that's going to be a good game between them and Cardinal Gibbons. So a little bit of what I talked about earlier with Coach Buck, the Raleigh powerhouse is meeting up in a game this week.
Yeah, Dean, I think that's the most physical game for sure. I mean, I think it's going to be a real good game. And there's a few other games that I've kind of got my eyes on this week as well. Assuming they all play, I guess that's the catch throw out there. Just don't know who's going to play and who's not going to play right now. But I still, I'm in the minority with some of the guys I'm on the Charlotte TV show with. But I think that Hickory Ridge can give Chambers a run for the money. I don't really. I don't know. I don't know. I just think they could. We'll see. Mallard Creek's going down to Gaffney. That's a big game. Another game, Jack, that I'm interested in, and you or Dina, is Maury from Norfolk, Virginia, coming down to play New Bern. I'm assuming that's still on.
Yeah, I was thinking about going to that game. Because I know Maury has been a really good team out of Virginia, but New Bern, it's kind of put. So obviously my mom's in Kentucky, and Richlands and South Lenore South Lenore's football team is still quarantined, so Richlands is not playing them this week. So Friday, my dad's taking me to the game, and I think we're just gonna go to Jacksonville West Carteret because it's closer to me, and I think I need to see because I plan to go see Jacksonville and New Bern later in the season, and I'll just go watch Jacksonville this week because why not? I have some friends on that team, But I was thinking that New Bern Maury game is going to be good.
Did I see that South Point, South Carolina's playing Shelby?
They are. That was just put together.
That'll be a good game. Battle between the Carolinas, two good programs there. So I know everybody in Cleveland County was talking about the Shelby Crest game, and that has to happen and stuff. But sometimes you just have to. You wonder if it's going to, if they can work it out or whatever. But I know when you have a rivalry game and back to this spring, I know the two high schools in my county, Starmount and Forbush, they played every year since the schools started in the fall '67, and they didn't play this spring. So we just had that game last week, and it's a big turnout. Unify, the biggest employer in the county, sponsors it, and it's just a festive atmosphere. And it was a good turnout on both sides, and Forbush came away. My Rams, they hung in there. They didn't. I thought they might get blown out with Coach Funderburk's team, because he's got a good team. But my Rams, they played pretty stubborn and everything. So, but the rivalry games, that's your gate monies and stuff. And so, just hope the Cleveland County guys get to see that Shelby Crest game sometime this fall.
Yeah, no, I agree, Dina, and I was impressed with the clips I saw of Starmount as well, because I feel like I understand how good Forbush is, and I thought that was a good game. But last year we saw Richmond and Scotland not play each other for the first time in their existence, and you have to be concerned. I know it's not till week 10 of the season, but so let's just say you're a Kannapolis and Concord fan. The chance that game could not play for the first time in about 100 years. That's
the Pisgah Tuscola game. That's the budget. That's the athletic budget for the program. Whoever hosts it and everything. We know what happened at Pisgah, and I'm glad to see them playing and being successful. Still got prayers for that community up there. I know it's that was a tough situation and everything. And you mentioned I'd like to mention West Brunswick. They've lost 2 young men this year, and Coach Hickman, he's a real good friend of mine, and I've got a good friend, Josh Foster, who Caleb Purdue, who coached up here and played at Starmount. He's one of the assistants down there. So just wanted to send my condolences to West Brunswick. We're all thinking about you.
Agreed. And yeah, that's a tough deal. Jack, your mother here tweeted or messaged that you guys also saw Wallace Rose Hill in Northside last week, and that turned out to be a blowout. Another game schedule note: Wallace is now heading down to North Myrtle Beach on Friday night, so that's going to be a big game.
Oh, they're not playing Pender anymore?
No. Pender is in the protocol.
Wow.
And then John says South Granville will probably get creamed again at Southern Nash. We are running the gauntlet. That is true. You guys have played a tough schedule to this point. Hey, before we get off here, guys, let me run down some other games. Weddington is at Ardrey. Myers Park is heading down to Atlanta, Georgia to play Buford. Grimsley at Pinecrest is a good one. Huff is hosting Cox Mill. Cox Mill's won 6 straight games dating back to last year. Henderson at hosting Mountain Heritage is off, but Henderson has now picked up the defending 3A state champions in South Carolina in Daniel Friday night. Dina, that's a big game. I mean, Henderson, remember, they were a stop 2-point conversion in overtime away from going to the state championship instead of Heritage. And now for them to play the 3A state champions, that's a pretty big game.
Well, Daniel is right there in Clemson country, and that they love their football and everything. So it's a great challenge for them to play them and get good experience. I mean, I look at it like this. I mean, when teams want to play and they're trying to find a game, you're kind of wondering what some of the coaches are. They're like, we don't want to play them because, with possibility of a loss hurt us in the playoffs. But then you turn around and, you play a good quality opponent and have a good showing. It may help you in the playoffs. So it's just a difficult situation when we're, there's no use of putting out a schedule. I mean, because it's just wasting time because half of them will be changed.
Yeah, no kidding. Coach Antonio Moore up at Northeastern, Elizabeth City, he messaged me, nobody will play him. They need a game Friday night. He said he'd play anybody. He didn't care how good they were. He didn't care if he lost or anything. He said at this point, you're cheating kids out of an opportunity to play a game. the course of the season, you just never know when you're not going to get to play again. So I think it's important for guys to find opportunities to play. Chelsea, here's a big game. I know you're going to a concert, but here's a big game in the area. In addition to the Heritage at Sanderson game, you guys have Hillside at Rollsville. That should be an interesting contest.
I always check out the streams when I can't make it to live games.
It's okay. I won't be at a live game either, but I'll be watching them on the screen.
Yeah.
Terry Sanford's going to Glenn, Southview at Richmond. Scotland and Marlborough County's a big one. Mitchell going over to Andrews. That's a real big game in the 1A West. Heritage, we mentioned that one at Sanderson. Franklin at Swain, I think, is still going. Forbush at Thomasville. Lee County at Fuquay. Hope County at 71st. That's a big rivalry game. High Brighton at Shelby's off. Obviously, Shelby's now hosting South Point. Rosewood at Whiteville. Jack, that's kind of in your territory. I think this Rosewood team's good. I think Whiteville is sneaky, really good.
I think Whiteville is really good, and Roseville is really young, so I could see that game. Whiteville pulling ahead by a lot. I think Whiteville is one of the sleepers out of the East, out of all of the East.
Well. I think so as well. What about East Duplin at Crowlton? Is that one still on?
That I know of, and that should be a rather good game. I think East Duplin kind of confuses me because they played really close with Princeton, and I thought both those teams were good, and then they go out last week and Pender beats them, and Pender's not bad.
No, Pender didn't beat them. They beat Pender 48-44.
Oh, they did? Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
but hey, I'm here to tell you, I've watched the film, and I know Coach Eanes real well. I think Pender County's a real legit threat. In the
So
1A East.
Richlands played their preseason scrimmage against Pender, and they absolutely crushed us. And I was like,
Yes.
are we really just that bad? Or
No,
are we
Pender
really
is
good?
Pender's
Well,
that
Coach
good.
Eanes has that ham bone offense that he's run everywhere he's been, and I seen it when he was at East Surrey. He had it up there in the foothills, and so he's took it down to Pender, and it's kind of a unique offense and something that teams really have to prepare for.
Yeah.
Yeah. And not just that, but he let's not forget, he was at Pender up until about 09, 10. I can't remember the year he left, but I think his last year or two there, he took them to the state championship, and Durnwell beat Albemarle that year. So he had a very, very well-established partner.
Well,
for about 2 years.
Pender always has athletes, and it's kind of seen more as a basketball school because, just in the past 5 years, they've produced 3 of the top basketball players of their class. And as I saw as the past few years, Pender was not very good last year. It just seems like their athletes haven't been playing football recently. And I think this team, they definitely have the athletes, the coaching, and their line is rather big. They have, according to Rivals, 247, all those guys, they have a player in the top 50 players in the state for seniors. He's a lineman, defense lineman, I think. They got a couple other big linemen, so I think they could be pretty good. They're 1A out of the East 1A.
Okay. And sorry, I'm yawning, guys. It's been a long day for me. And then my final game on the list. Well, I mentioned Washington is not playing now. They were supposed to go to Northampton. That's a tough deal. I'm sure some more news may come out about that. But again, if you didn't hear me earlier, thoughts and prayers with the whole school and the team, everybody at Washington High School. Been a tough year for some crazy going on. It's 2 shootings in the same week. Just a lot going on. But I think that about wraps it up, at least for me. Dina, Chelsea, anybody got anything else?
No, I don't.
Jack's even yawning.
Yeah, you got
It's been a long. And this is the time of year for me where I wake up at whatever time I get up in the morning, and I'm up all day. I'm up all night. I really don't take a day off, it seems like, during the football season. In fact, for me, working on rankings and different things like that, I think I'll work even more on the weekend. So if I am to take a day off in the football season, it's going to end up being like Wednesday or Thursday.
Yeah, I'm telling you, the weekends is starting with Friday night, Saturday, Sunday. It's just weekends is my busiest time. I mean, I don't have weekends.
Yeah.
So
I would say my week starts with Friday, and maybe Thursday or Friday. Wednesday's probably my Friday or Saturday. But anyway, so yeah, we got that coming up. I do have those team pages are fixed, Dina. So that's some good news. The only problem is they have absolutely zero data in them. We're working on trying to input one file. We have one file that somehow or the other was salvaged that was kept up until 2014. That at
least you don't have to go back in the possibly you got some data maybe and like I said, I know you've been announcing it all over the social media and first thing people are saying is what's going on, I'm like, hey, it's okay, Chris he's done this forever. He's accumulated that data, and that's his stuff, and it's a great resource. And it's nothing's happened between us. We're still really good friends, and we just want to help our youngsters. And get them, cover the high school teams and help kids like Jack and Chelsea do get into sports media and stuff. I'm really tickled because that was a wonderful resource, and we need that because I mean, Max Preps don't go back that far.
No.
So yeah, people love history, data, stuff like that. I mean, I did a football book on my own high school, and it's got every result. And people like to see that. I had it broken down to each year and who their opponent's record against each opponent, the playoff records. And so somebody asked me like last week, what was the record between Starmount and Forbush, and I pulled up 41-12. I got them all listed. So that's 41-13.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's great news, and I'm happy for you. I know you've been thinking about that a lot, and so I'm glad you're starting on that. And anything that I can do to help you, I sure will offer my services because I know it's a wonderful resource.
And as you can see right here, I mean, this is the team pages. I mean, the directory is empty. There's no teams to pull down. You can go to standings, and the standings pages are empty. I mean, the conferences are there, but there's just no data in them. I mean, it takes you to an error screen, but at least they're there. So,
yeah.
That was a big deal just to even get them in there. But anyway, Dina, any final thoughts for you before we cut her off tonight?
Well, no, I'm just happy that we're heading into week 4 and pray each week that we continue to play and people stay safe and have fun enjoying high school football. I mean, that's a lot of these communities. That's the thing to do. I know Chelsea lived in Raleigh, so she, when you live out here like in small communities like I do, a football game is the only show in town, and it's where everybody sees everybody and stuff. But I hope you have a great time at your concert with little baby. Maybe Chris will get up. Maybe Chris will get up and look him up when we
tell me again who it is.
Maybe he'll listen to a song or so.
Little baby. I think that'd be the. There's no little baby concerts in Starmount, is there, Gina?
No. It would probably be in Greensboro. That's Greensboro, Charlotte.
Is it like a boy band?
An hour.
Check it out.
Chelsea, is it a boy band?
It's not. It's a rapper.
It's a rapper.
I like rap.
Oh, hey, we had a big concert up here about an hour from me. We had Luke Combs up here at Appalachian sell out and a big country music concert. You know, Luke Combs went to Appalachian, so that was big up this way. So
I'm a real old school rapper. My favorite rapper is probably like Will Smith's. Getting jiggy with it. All right, guys. Hey, that's enough. I'm going to go to bed early now. We've had a great with Chelsea. Thank you, Jack. Appreciate you. You guys have a great week. We'll see you again, same bat time, same bat channel next week. All right.
See y'all next
thank y'all.
See y'all.
Y'all have a good one. All right. Got to press the button.